So you may have heard in the news about a program released in the security community called Firesheep, and how it can steal your logged-in sessions to websites you visit. This tool is actually designed and released in order to shed light on a major problem that we in the security community have been warning about for some time. The problem is a far too easy technique known as HTTP session hijacking. Before I show you Firesheep, I need to explain how HTTP session hijacking works. For this example, I'll use Facebook and your PC. When you log on to Facebook, the servers at Facebook protect your password by encrypting the communication that takes place between your PC and the Facebook logon servers. This is done using a technology called SSL, or the Secured Sockets Layer. This is represented in your browser by the infamous padlock, and by the URL starting with HTTPS. Once a password has been verified, your PC is given a session key, a series of numbers, that it uses instead of your password to authorize each and every request to the server. This information is placed in a cookie. Once your PC has that key, the session drops the SSL protection, and all information, including the key, is sent in plain text. This means that the key can be observed by anyone else on the network. Now, before Firesheep, it was possible to steal that cookie, and in fact, many malware samples do just that. But this tool makes it incredibly easy to see the problem. In this demo, I'm going to use two browsers. These browsers will represent two different machines. These browsers are running on the same computer for this demo, but we have tested this in real life in the lab on separate machines, both on a hub as well as on a wireless network, and have achieved the same results. Safari is going to represent the user's machine logging into a website. Firefox will represent the attacker. You can see we've got Firesheep installed, and I'll go ahead and start capturing. Let's switch over to Safari. Let's make sure that Safari doesn't know who I am, so we'll go to Twitter real quick. And you can see I am not logged in. It's also verified that the attacker is not logged in. And you can see the attacker is also not logged in. So now, back at the user PC, I'll go ahead and log into my account on Twitter. So here we are in my profile, my background, my friends, people I'm following. And let's go check out the attacker's machine. The attacker now has a little indicator here showing that I've accessed Twitter. This doesn't just represent the fact that I accessed Twitter, this represents the fact that the attacker's machine now has a copy of my session key and my cookie. And the only thing that I have to do as an attacker to take over this session is simply double click. Now you can see, as the attacker, I am logged in as the user. I have access to everything the user had access to in the profile. I can change the password, I can add friends, I can remove friends. And just like that, I've captured that session. Now it doesn't just work for Twitter, this will work for anything that session key and that cookie is passed in plain text. For something scary, I want to show you Amazon. So we'll go ahead and sign in as my account. And you can see that Amazon recognizes me. You can see up here that we are in an SSL session. We authenticated in an SSL session, we are still in an SSL session. And if we look over here, we don't have any indication that the attacker knows who I am. However, if I browse and go to books, we're no longer in an HTTP session. And that means that my credentials, although my credentials haven't been passed, my session key has. And sure enough, the attacker has a copy of that key and that cookie. And sure enough, they're now logged in as me. Now there are some saving graces. In the case of Amazon, if I go to actually check out, it will ask me for my password again unless I've signed up for one-click purchasing. So that thwarts the attack here, but there still could be some personal information such as wish lists or items in the cart or other such things that would be compromised at this point. There is one scary element that we found from some of the research that we've done at NovCon. If we sign into live.com, which is Hotmail, Windows Live Mail, you can see I'm logged in. Currently, Dave Smith. I can send an email. That's great. Go back to live. Jump over. The attacker saw the same thing. In this case, the scripts couldn't pull my name out, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I'm still logged in as myself. So now the attacker has compromised the cookie. If I were to sign out, that should cancel the cookie both on my machine and should cancel the session key on the server. But in the case of live.com, that cookie is still valid, and the attacker can go on using my account while the whole time I've been logged out. So now that we know the problem, what can we do about it? Whenever possible, use a VPN when connecting remotely. Specifically for work users, if you're connecting from a coffee shop or a hotel back to your work network, make sure that you're using a VPN so that all of your traffic flows through that encrypted pipe and not out in public view. Whenever possible, use browser extensions like HTTPS Everywhere or Force TLS. These extensions force you to use the secure versions of services if it knows about it and if they're available. For instance, Google, it would force you to use the encrypted versions of Google services instead of the standard HTTP URLs. Limit your exposure to untrusted networks. If you don't need to access your Facebook account from the coffee shop, then for now, don't. And protect your access to your own networks. Make sure you know who's on your network. If you're running a wide open Wi-Fi network at home, then anybody driving down the road can access your network and basically perform the same exploits that we did in this demo without your knowledge. So make sure that your network is protected and that you know who's on it. For more information, check out our site at www.novcon.net.